Good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm a little anxious, primarily. Full disclosure, we are recording this on December 10th. It is week 14 in the NFL season. So when this is airing, that's going to be on December 18th. It's going to be the last game that in week 15 of the regular season for my particular fantasy football league.
So does that mean you could be witnessing the loss of your trophy?
Okay, you know what? We could be witnessing the regain of my trophy. How about that? How about the glass being half full, Todd? Is that
You're
okay?
a half empty kind of guy. Don't even get it.
You know,
like that.
no. I'm only half empty because people are certain ways sometimes, and sometimes, I got to be honest. And
sounds like a lot of words that don't mean anything.
Listen, sometimes being honest makes you appear as the person that sees things half empty.
Well, I just want to say I wish you the best of luck this season, Ozzy. Hope you make the playoffs and do fantastically.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing? No, what do you mean nothing? You were the one who initially installed the idea of putting an asterisk after 272 champion.
Look,
for whatever reason.
Facts are facts. Of how
facts are facts. And the fact is I'm champion right now. Another fact that I was almost willing to omit was Todd, Flesh Wound producer, is also with us. Third voice you heard.
Oh, I said champion.
Yeah.
I hit my hand. Dang it. Champion.
It's already trying to leave. You don't.
Okay, you know what? That you're being. We're not doing this right now. It's too early in the episode. We have to wait a little bit. We're going to talk about this movie because that's what people are watching this for. Today, we get to review and discuss the Christmas classic, A Christmas Story, which was released on November 18th, 1983. Rated PG. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, sir, I do.
Can we please see it?
We absolutely can.
You sound like you're stalling. Are you sure you have
In this modern age,
perfect.
Too many people have lost sight of the true meaning of Christmas.
Mom, hush!
Shut up, Ralphie! So now, in the spirit of the original,
I'm eating you! Stop!
Traditional, American Christmas,
Thanks a lot!
MGM presents A Christmas Story.
Dancing through the snow.
Uncle!
In a one-horse open sleigh. For the field we go. Laughing all the way.
In case you're wondering why this movie flopped on its initial release.
What fun it is to ride and sing.
That must be Italian.
I think that's Mr. Fragile.
A Christmas Story.
Come on!
The movie that pulls off Santa's beard.
Oh, wow.
And unwraps the secrets
Didn't I get a tie this
of the original, traditional,
year? He looks like a deranged Easter bunny.
100% two-fisted, red-blooded,
It's smiling at me.
all-American Christmas. A Christmas Story.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the trailer for Christmas Story, and I could understand that. The trailer didn't do a great job of. I think there are some other things that could have been done with the trailer to accurately give a good idea of what the film was about. Because watching that is definitely not matching. Because it just seems like random Christmas moments, and rather the film itself is actually based off a book that was based off of a collection of autobiographical stories that were written for Playboy magazine in the 1960s. That book titled "In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash," which the author was Gene Shepard, and the screenwriters for Lee Brown and Bob Clark, also directed by Bob Clark. Again, the film was released in November 18th, 1983, with a runtime of 93 minutes, rated PG. What is happening here?
No, I'm just showing off the leg.
Okay. And for those available on the YouTube channel, you can see the leg from the film, a replica or is that the actual one from the film, Todd?
No, it's not the actual one.
Well, you could have just said it. You didn't have to tell moments lost. Never mind. You want to go back and say it's the real one?
Yeah, it's the real one. Okay, let's
Okay.
get
Then the very actual item from the Christmas Story film, the leg labeled Fragile. So
my box says Fragile too, that it came in.
it has to. Why wouldn't it come in anything else?
I didn't spring for the wooden box.
Oh.
They did have that as an option, but it was like, yeah, I've had that for like
I bet it
quite
was
a
like
long
an extra $100 or not. Okay.
time. No, it was a couple extra. I've had that for like a decade, so I don't even remember. Maybe longer now at this point.
Got it. All right. So initial thoughts on this. It's quite the classic cult film. As Todd mentioning, not successful in theaters when it first debuted. However, over time, it's kind of the perfect movie to have while decorating the tree.
It's so many segments to it. You don't have to. It is a perfect, like what made it famous, the 24-hour movie, because you can catch different segments like while you're doing stuff.
It's almost how I can't think specific, but like practically like a sketch comedy movie, right?
Mhm.
Except it's not.
Well, I mean, it's based off the writings of Gene Shepard, like you've discussed, but like and that's what it is. They're all just little bits of stories, like because there is 5 different films based off the writings of Gene Shepard. This being this is the first. Then there is Ollie Hop Noodles Haven of Bliss is the second one.
Is that okay? Go ahead.
No, that was a Disney. That one you could find on YouTube. It was a Disney like era release. Then there was My Summer Story, which has Charles Grodin as the old man,
Right.
which is a pretty decent one. Then there's Christmas Story 2, which
But was it personal this time?
no, and then there's a live musical version, but yeah, there's been a lot written off the work of Gene Shepard.
Well, and I think it's fair to say this one being the most popular.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Most people don't know about a lot of the ones that exist, but like I really recommend the Otto one because you even have Gene Shepard, who is the narrator in this, and he's also the narrator in that too. And I believe Christmas or Summer Story also.
Gotcha. So also starring in this film, rather, Peter Billingsley, Melinda Dillon, and Darren McGavin. And we kind of jumped into the initial thoughts already. Like Todd had mentioned, you can see this 24 hours a day on Christmas Day on TBS. That's no secret. And it is great because you can jump in at any time. It's the perfect movie to, like I said, do any decorations because you don't need to sit down and watch. And then eventually you see so many of the parts so many times that it's equal to watching the movie an X amount of times. So it's
how it became a classic.
Indeed. Greg, any initial thoughts?
Like I'd seen this movie quite a bit in the past. I had some initial thoughts, but then we watched the trailer and I think it actually made me forget what the movie's about. It was so rough to follow of a trailer. But
They had no idea how to market this movie.
I mean, it's a hard one. But no, like this was this has always been a classic. I was really looking forward to seeing it in one sitting because, like you said, you typically just catch pieces of this movie, So it was fun to sit down with, and it was my wife's first time seeing it. In which that last scene that we saw in the trailer was a fun one to watch. So
I will cross that out of my
So were you
favorite
like,
moment.
how did that go?
it was
Like when it happened, were you like, oh, I didn't think about this. Oh my God, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
I had that happen with my friend's dead wife watching like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, then Clerks 3 back to back.
Ooh,
And I was like,
gosh,
during
what
Planes,
the
Trains, and
heck?
Automobiles, I remember, and then it happened again at Clerks 3. I was just like,
What are you doing?
it was bad.
Double feature, you miss her yet? Man,
Like, and I didn't remember until they show, her picture on the register in Clerks 3. I was like, fuck, again. At least he picked Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
that's fair. But it reminds me of the scene from Dumb and Dumber when he rips out the heart and puts it in a doggy bag and gives it back to the guy. There you go. Todd, did you get over any
Initial
thoughts?
I'll give you a
Is it-
little. Well, I gave you some of the backstory on the series, but
Mhm.
I did not see this theatrically. I did not see it till it hit home video. As a kid, I loved this one. Watched it quite a bit. I remember before that TNT stuff, like it was like dead, and it just like it blew. It was great because now people knew what the heck I was talking about.
We had a conversation about this, Todd.
Yeah. And
Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm. What? I said Knott's Berry Farm. Never mind.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, yes. But I did want to mention Bob Clark, who is the director. Did you know he has 2 certified Christmas classics?
Hold on.
You're going to cheat, Ozzy. That's no fair.
Okay, all right, fine.
He has obviously, and both of them
Is
did
the other
not.
one? Is the other one Die Hard?
It is not. The other one is that's John McTiernan, director of Predator.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on.
I know. It's just I know. I'm kidding.
Bob Clark also direct. See, this is not going to be in your warehouse, but in the rest of the programs, Black Christmas, John Saxon. It is often considered the original slasher. Predates Halloween. Has the point of view. People have said Carpenter saw it and was influenced. That's never been official, but so he's got
influence Carpenter like Fern Gully influenced James Cameron about Avatar.
It could be.
Okay.
I still think that's the Smurfs, but that's okay. Ferngully works too. They're both the same thing. Smurf fairies.
There you
Yeah,
go.
the
That's a
Smurf
good one.
fairies, And
Interesting.
people are the Gargamelts. Whatever.
Now I want to talk of an hour about Smurfs and Avatar. Like, funny.
No, I lost with that, but yeah, Black Christmas. It's one that was overlooked at first. Huge cult. It's like one of the in the top 3 or 4, if not some people's favorite for Christmas horror. So he's got that, and he's got this. So he had Christmas covered.
Interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting. Okay, so getting into some of our favorite moments, Greg, would you like to start us off?
I am just incredibly grateful for this movie. And every time I watch this and I get reminded of a wonderful phrase that I need to make sure that I put in my vocabulary of calling things a mundane noodle. I don't know why, but that gets me every time.
Okay. Excellent. Todd?
this was hard. Like because
There's a
everything
lot of
the
good
old
moments. There's a
everything
lot
the
of
old
moments.
man says is gold for me. I love the old man.
Yeah.
We'll go 2 rounds on this, maybe.
There's just something the way he says it. It's the leg lamp related one. He's just like, you used all the glue on purpose. It's just so bad. It makes me laugh. Like, I felt bad for him. I mean, I'm a fan of the leg lamp myself, so
Uh, the scene where he says fudge, but it wasn't fudge, it was the mother, right? And he's at home and he has the soap in his mouth, and his mom asks, "Where did you hear that?" And he, I can't tell her the truth because she won't believe me, so I said the first name that came to mind. And he said, "Who's Schwartz?" Okay, puts the soap back in, and calls him up, and do you know what Ralphie just said? She tells him. And what? He said what? You hear that over the phone.
that's the what is what makes me laugh every
Yeah.
time.
Do you know where he heard that? Oh, it was definitely his father.
Right.
And then, but the follow up of, no, heard it from your son. And then, what? And then you just hear over the phone the son just getting it right.
Yeah.
That always cracks me up. Always cracks me up, and especially to finish up with the mom putting the soap in her mouth, just like to see, and she almost gags. So like I said, we'll go 2 rounds here. Greg, do you have another?
Yeah. So when the old man, I mean, everything he does is fantastic, but he doesn't know what this prize is, and he's so excited, and he thinks like, I'm gonna buy a pool, like a mansion, probably. He's got these like dreams of grandeur, and he opens it up for it to be this leg lamp. But this man is pot committed, and he is like, I'm gonna be just as excited about this lamp because or else I'll look like a dingus. So just that entire performance of the over exaggerating his joy for the lamp, it just spot on fantastic.
Todd?
I'm gonna stick leg lamp with this one. I gotta go the moment she turns the lamp off when they leave the house. And it's like, no. She tries to get away with it, but that ain't happening. I just like, it's just such a little thing. I just love that.
I don't know if this is the demented part of me, but when the double dog dare of getting the tongue licking the pole, and it's specifically, it's when the bell rings. It's like, sorry, we got to get back to class, and then just leave him there. And he tries to get it off, and then he just starts crying.
I just
think
like
I'm demented because I find that hilarious. And then the teacher's like, "Where is he? You all went to recess?" Nope, I don't know anything. What's going on? And then if everybody looks at the window, they're the only 2 that are in the class. Oh man.
And then when Ralphie's just like nodding along, like, yeah, you should tell. And I love that bit too.
That's great. Okay.
There's so much good stuff.
There is. And we all gave our second. So there is
Not a finger.
no. What I was gonna say is, as great and as funny as this movie is, it can't really be seen in like June or July. Doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's not Die Hard, where it's a Christmas movie you can watch at any time of the year. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, Greg. Deal with it.
Oh no. I after seeing Die Hard on the big screen today, I have an official position on whether it is a Christmas movie or not.
Okay, let's stop.
I'm not telling you what it is because Die Hard has to win the vote to hear it.
Hear that, people?
I'm helping you out, Ozzy.
Thank you. Okay.
That's your Christmas present.
There you go. It's bad enough earlier this year you had to put me over. You had to hear me putting you over to try to get you a gig.
And then like I'm gonna be watching it. It's like, sorry, I gotta review this for the show. And she's gonna be like, we've seen it twice already. I was like, yeah, and we're gonna watch it a third.
Tell her next time you'll watch Christmas Story 2.
Oh,
how did I leave out another what is it? A Christmas Story story. I forgot to mention that one when I was reading them all off.
is that just
that's the sequel to this.
Wait.
Christmas Story 2 is like Christmas Vacation 2. It's a straight to video sequel they did. Christmas Story Christmas is the one that they debuted on Max last year.
Oh, where all the kids are grown up.
Yes. Like Ralphie is in Christmas Story 2, but it's not
Peter Billingsley.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Same with Summer Story. Curran Culkin plays him in that, Ralphie, in that one.
okay. All right. So getting into the ratings, as I was beginning to talk about, you can't really watch this at any other point in the year. Kind of really only fits in November or December. So, but at the same time, there's so many.
Ozzy doesn't believe in Christmas in July. We've had that discussion.
Listen, John Lithgow failed against Dudley Moore, so we didn't have Christmas 2. Sorry, everybody. That's a reward for all those people that have seen what movie I'm talking about. However, getting back to this movie, it's still enjoyable to the point where I can watch while decorating a tree, or I can actually sit down and watch from start to finish every year. Like I can at least sit through it once. But because it doesn't have that, I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said about, yeah, it's great. You can catch in and watch whatever segment you want and then jump back to whatever you're doing. But then there's also something to be said about a movie that catches you at the beginning and you say, no, I'm sticking through this till the very, I want to see everything that happens. I want to see everything that happens again. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles being an example. Like everybody knows that movie by heart, but they still want to see those scenes every single time again. Right. So I'm going with a 4 for this one because every time it's enjoyable, I love it. But because it's not
it's an anthology, really. It's a collection of stories.
It's a collection of stories, and I think that's what prevents me from giving it a higher score. Greg?
Well, it's tough because like trying to think about our past episodes and such. Like this wasn't as good as last week's episode, so I can't give it above. No, this movie's fantastic. It's a classic. It's always fun. Like you said, you're happy to put it on every year. Just has a lot of great moments. And so I'm gonna give this 4.5.
Fair. Totally fair.
I've been watching this every Christmas since I was probably 10 years old. Long been a favorite. I am a 5 on it. I get where you're coming from, but yeah, it is. It's a favorite. So yeah, it's a 5.
I don't fault you guys that at all. I could easily see anybody giving it a 4.5 or a 5. This is just for me because you guys know like my own weird style taste in movies. I like to have one.
I think you'll
thing, whatever, and it like it's whatever. Go ahead. Sorry, Todd.
No. All the other ones are pretty much similar. That collection of stories, except A Christmas Story, Christmas. It's a narrative. It plays beginning to end.
Mm.
So that if you're a fan of the other ones, that could play against it. It's still somewhat, but it's more complete. It feels more, like a standard feature format wise.
That might be worth watching, and that is available on Max. You were saying?
Yes, I do recommend.
As is the original, this being as of December 10th. This can be found streaming on Max for subscribers and any subscribers of the TNT app or TBS app that is available on there as well. Funny story about this film. Ted Turner bought the rights to this just to play something 24 hours during Christmas. Is that right, Todd?
No, Ted.
Can you clarify that story?
Okay, I don't that Turner got this. Well, technically it's Warner. When Turner was in charge, or no, technically it was still Turner. Then they went to Warner, but he bought half of the MGM catalog. So this is part of it. Like that's why some stuff like is with MGM and some's not. Like this is with Warner Brothers. Hell, Wizard of Oz is with the Warner Brothers, even though it's an MGM film. So when they bought that library, it was for Ted Turner to put on TNT, but because they didn't put this in Christmas rotation till they had the catalog for at least a decade by the time they 24-houred it. So
and would you think it's fair that the popularity skyrocketed once it became
100%?
Okay.
100%. There was very few. I knew people who knew it and liked it growing up, but it's the Christmas movie now. I mean, and that's all TBS or TNT, TBS, both of them.
Didn't
Whichever.
the same thing happen to It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes, it was a public domain film that flopped because it's not really a Christmas movie. And then they just started playing it, and it yeah.
That's funny. 1997. 1997 is when TNT started
Okay.
airing that Christmas that year.
Yeah, and I think they got the catalog about a decade earlier in '87.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, the review of A Christmas Story. Check it out. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, but chances are you probably have at least seen a portion of this,
Even if you don't know it.
even if you don't know it. But even if you've never sat down and tried watching it from start to finish, at least once, just sitting down. If you haven't seen any other Christmas movies, this would be a good one to use. Or even if you're just starting late, you want to do a Christmas marathon on December 23rd, this would be one to get on there.
I could also see this one having a problem with people like Ozzy, but Ozzy's already seen it. If you hadn't seen it, and me and Greg were telling you how much you need to see A Christmas Story, and everyone else in the world's telling you how great A Christmas Story, Ozzy's gonna be like, I'm never gonna watch this stupid movie because everyone says I should. So it's probably good you watched it when you did, Ozzy.
You're not wrong. That's hard to argue, because initially be like, no, I'd like it, and I'm thinking back to all these other movies, like, oh yeah, maybe there's a point to that. It's just there's certain threshold. It's like when I hear so many people, it's like the law of averages. It's like, oh, so many people have liked this movie that it's bound that there's going to people that it's bound that there's going to be some people that don't like the movie. And I think if there's enough people that tell me, oh, we love it, we love it, we love it, I'm probably going to be the ones that makes the balance, and provides balance to the universe. So without me, there's no balance. Without balance, the universe falls apart. So really, y'all should be thanking me.
No.
I mean, I said you should. I said you should. And I'll just say you're welcome. It's my service to the world.
It even came up the other day. Jackie and I were talking. She goes, well, do you guys ever do animated movies? It's like, no.
Okay, look. Dang it. Oh. No,
We couldn't even do 8 Crazy Nights because Ozzy wouldn't allow it.
When did I say we should not do 8 Crazy Nights? When did I say that?
When I brought it up last year.
I don't think you brought it up.
And then I watched it, and I'm glad we didn't do it. Because then I'm going to get called names for not liking it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So Todd, you mentioned the voting on the Patreon site.
Yes,
Is voting still available here?
Yes, it is.
Patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. For just $1 a month, you'll be able to unlock the tier that would allow you to vote on the films that we will be reviewing. And do you want to go over the list again, Todd, for those that missed last week?
I am pulling it up so I can read it off and tell you where the voting's at. Okay. So we have Christmas Vacation 2, Die Hard,
Worst movie ever made.
Just Friends, A Medea Christmas.
Oh, I love that one.
Surviving Christmas.
I really, really want Medea Christmas to win.
We are currently at a 50-50 tie.
For which ones do we get to know?
Yeah, I'll let you know. And that is between, as of this recording, Christmas Vacation 2 and Surviving Christmas.
God.
We're gonna have to watch Christmas Vacation 2.
We still got time. Come on, guys, vote.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I thought the Raiders had time in the fourth quarter when they hadn't scored any points last week, and look what happened.
Remember, you'll get to hear this Die Hard story.
Wait, you're saying? Oh man, dang it! People, listen. vote Die Hard so we can hear Todd's opinion on whether or not it is or is not a
I have
Christmas
my
movie.
official opinion now after seeing it on the big screen in Dolby Cinema.
Because I'll tell you, if he says it's not a Christmas movie, there will be scorched earth on this program. And that cannot happen without Die Hard being voted to be the film that we review and discuss.
I'm gonna cut this out and post your plea just before this episode. I'm gonna air that what we just said, so you get your plea out there now, so they don't have to
There you
wait.
go.
Please. Please. And you're like, why would Die Hard be considered a farce? Why are you guys reviewing Die Hard? I will
Greg,
tell you
probably
why. I will
Because
tell
it's
you
a
why.
joke that it's called a Christmas movie.
Okay. All right. That's enough.
This is
Come on.
Ozzy's Christmas gift.
Yeah, can we spread a little Christmas cheer?
We'll have one episode of
think
Flesh Wound Fights.
I can listen. I think I'm trying to be the one who's promoting Christmas, and the ones that say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie are simply the Grinch and need their heart to grow 10
Or
times too big.
Scrooge.
Or Scrooge. Same, that works.
Flesh Wound Fist. That'll be our action title.
Let's go with Flesh Wound Punch. That'd be
That sounds like something we're gonna drink, then all go to sleep.
okay. Fair
The
point.
Flesh Wound Munch.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, it's not gonna matter. They're not gonna vote for you.
Oh, you're right. We're never going to hear Todd's opinion on this.
Yeah.
All right. So be sure to check that out. Again, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures to vote for one of these films that we will review. And that is coming up, I think, next week. That will be a Christmas episode. We're obviously not going to be filming on Christmas. However, we will have a Christmas episode releasing on Christmas Day. So after you've had your Christmas dinner and opened all your presents, you can check out this review of Flesh Wound Features or a Flesh Wound Farce that will feature a film voted on by you, our Patreon fan base and Patreon members, rather. So, Todd, Greg, anything else before we head out for the evening?
I just want to say I also appreciate that we got a fight between Wizard of Oz and Mickey Mouse. An always unexpected scene from this film.
What?
Don't you remember the parade?
Oh,
Like-
duh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, and I always wonder, Disney signed off on that? So, yeah, another wonderful bit of treasure from this film.
And Todd, any final thoughts before we head out? That's a no.
I'm trying to think.
You throw your hands up in the air, that's going to be a no.
It must be Italian. I don't know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd. And I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.